Over the last week, another game has once again broken the internet, and that game this time is one called Palworld. It is a game that takes clear inspiration from the much-beloved franchise Pokémon, which for years has been one of the most recognizable franchises as well as its art style. And I have to say that I've been playing Palworld for the last couple of weeks just out of curiosity. I didn't really expect much at the beginning. I thought it was going to be just some crazy indie game that people just made for a joke. But I gotta say that my thoughts have been expanded so much since then. And today I'm going to talk about it, go over some of the recent quote-unquote controversies, because I don't really consider them controversies. I just feel like people have been exaggerating a lot of these things, and just give my final opinion of the game, because I feel like this is a very, very fun game, and I had a very great time with it. But like always, it is the internet, so you get a lot of brain dead takes on several of these topics, a lot of people thinking that, oh, it's plagiarism, and I feel like that those are very wrong opinions, so I'm gonna talk about those, like why I disagree with them, and also like some of the things that I expect to see more Palworld in the future, and also related to its relation to the Pokemon company, because people have been pointing out like how there's a lot of similarities.
Is that not Eevee?
That's Grimace.
Grimace.
But I feel like there's enough in Palworld to kind of like defend its originality in a lot of different areas, even though like it has a very comedic tone to it, and it just takes something that people recognized and made something completely new. So first of all, what is Palworld? First of all, this is a game that is kind of very different from a lot of things we've seen. It takes a lot of elements from like a lot of different games, from shooters, from survival games. It has a little bit of Minecraft, Fortnite to it. It reminds me a lot of the recent Lego Fortnite collaboration. I thought it was amazing, and I feel like this one expands those topics of survival in a lot of great ways. And that is the first thing I noticed about it. I thought it was going to be like another thing like Ark, which did survival very bad in my opinion, but this one just takes all those elements and does a great thing with them. And from there, it expands to so many other genres. Like you have a lot of exploration, kind of like Elden Ring in a way, where you go from like side of grace to side of grace, kind of like as checkpoints, and then you can explore all the areas that you've visited before, basically in an instant like this. Like you don't have to like travel so far to get from one place to the other, kind of like Minecraft. Like there's not really a specific fast travel system, so Palworld really improves in that spot. But the thing that people noticed the most was the combat. And I gotta say, the combat is very similar to other games. Obviously, there's the shooting mechanics from your character, but also the thing that really puzzled people the most was like the way you capture different pals in this world, which are basically like the parodies of the Pokemon, and you made them fight with each other. And the combat is very like real-time based. Like it's not turn-based, for example, like games like the actual Pokemon series or Baldur's Gate, like those kind of things. It is more like on-the-fly action. And I feel like I enjoyed those games the most. For example, Baldur's Gate 3, I've been having a blast with that game, but I feel like games like this one really do the best out of those mechanics, and I just loved every second of the combat. But that's one of the points where people said, okay, this is very clearly just stealing from Pokemon. And I gotta say, like, that's really not the case for the point I mentioned that is basically real-time combats. I feel like that's like the main issue that people have, but I feel like it does just enough to differentiate itself from what it took inspiration from. And I feel like it's the same thing with Elden Ring. For example, one can argue that it took all those like fast travel systems and map exploring elements of Elden Ring, or for example, Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom. But I have to say that even though it takes inspiration, I feel like it does just enough to make it a really great experience on its own. Also because this is a game that really rewards progression in all the best ways. For example, there's a lot of like building mechanics that improve your experience. For example, capturing different pals improve your level in so many great ways. So this is a game that incentivizes you to capture more pals, and every level adds new stuff that keeps it so fresh. For example, every single time I leveled up, I really rushed into the technological section to unlock new points. I was so eager to see what I unlocked, because it just changes the mechanics every single time. So first you have like the survival mechanics, then you have like more industrialized, so it kind of like incentivizes like that way of gathering resources to industrialize, and that is just so much fun. Like it really reminded me of the best of Minecraft. For example, there were some old school mods back in the day with Minecraft. For example, there was like technology craft, something like that, or industrial craft, where you basically created so many amazing things out of like raw materials. So made basically like a whole automated farm system in Minecraft, and I got that same feeling in this game. I feel like that reignited my passion for like building stuff and just like having all these systems in place. I gotta say that's my major praise for this game. Like it is just plain fun. Like it is one of the few games that really made me go, oh, I want to play for hours and hours until like 3 in the morning. And the best thing about Palworld is that it is a game that you can also enjoy with friends. Like the multiplayer system is so easy to integrate, and everything is kept throughout like your friends. Like they have the same materials and systems. I mean, like the inventories every time they log in. So it's just really fun to play. And I really hope that in a future update they add like independent worlds. So for example, like Lego Fortnite has the ability to give other players their key, so they can access the world even while you're not in the same session. But overall, I think it's just a fun experience with friends. I feel like even exploring was just so amazing and so fun in so many ways. And once again, the pals are very unique, and also there's some really similar pals to the Pokemon. And I feel like this is the main point that people are trying to make is like, oh, okay, they're so similar that you might as well call them Pokemon. For example, there's a pal called Cremis that is just basically Eevee but recolored. But I feel personally, this is just my opinion, that it just brushes like the fine line between parody and reference and also like something original. I feel like this is a game that it was not really meant to be taken that seriously, even though it's been widely successful now. And one can argue right now that it's just basically become this like original stuff on its own, and now it has a very important responsibility to create very like more original designs and stuff. So I kind of see the points that people are making, but at the same time, I feel like that line that it has a parody, which is a very clear parody of Pokemon, by the way. I feel like that is like the main point I'm trying to make here, is that it basically tries to parody while doing its own thing with all the original mechanics, like the survival, the exploration, and all that. So in the end, I feel like the accusations are kind of founded, but just like to a certain degree. Like it doesn't really justify all the hate or even death threats that a lot of the Palworld developers have been getting. Like people are just really angry about this game, and that is something that I also wanted to talk in this review or discussion, whatever this video is. Also, as a final point, I gotta restate that I am a great Pokemon fan. I really have enjoyed Pokemon throughout the years, especially like throughout like 2010 all the way to 2016, where Pokemon Go was at its top. I really enjoy these characters and these worlds, and that is why I've been so disappointed that the last few games have been so disappointed. And as a Pokemon fan, I talk to all the other Pokemon fans by saying like, you really want Palworld to succeed for one very important reason. And that reason is that if Palworld is succeeding, it has a lot of really amazing numbers, it is very popular, it gets people talking, and that kind of forces Pokemon to up its game. You know, like innovate, create better games, create something that really makes people like want to play Pokemon again. So that's why I don't understand why people are so angry. I feel like this game is going to kind of force some competition into Pokemon, and maybe they'll see the success of Palworld and they'll say, oh, we really want to do this. So they'll create an actual good Pokemon game with open world elements, with multiplayer, and like making the best, even if it comes for the Switch 2, which I expect it's going to be amazing. It has like more features. I hope that that is the case, and I really hope that Pokemon sees the success, and instead of trying to sue and instead of having this like vindictive mindset, like it actually tries to improve itself and be like, okay, people did something original with some of my concepts. I want to say the same concept because that is false, but it's like a lot of different concepts. I feel like that's going to be a good thing. So anyways, those are pretty much all my thoughts on Palworld. I've been enjoying my time with Palworld so much, and it's basically become one of my favorite games of all time. And yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts, and I'll definitely going to be playing this game and streaming it. So if you want to see me play this game, go follow me on twitch.tv/GrandKeeganLive. And yeah, those are pretty much all my thoughts. So see you guys later. Goodbye.